when should you get back together with your ex-boyfriends? Naomi and Katie are, spoiler alert, now married to their ex-boyfriends.
Do you ever introduce them as that? This is my ex-boyfriend.
Hello and welcome to the Christians Who Date podcast. I'm Andrea Alley, and it is girls' night tonight. We have 5 of us ladies on the podcast. You know a couple of us, but let's start with Lauren up here. Actually, I don't know.
We don't know if we're
different
up or
for
not.
all of us, but this is where you are for me.
She's up for me.
I'm Lauren, and I'm still sweaty from the gym. I did not freshen up for you all. It is what it is. Lauren from LA.
Thank you for your
Callie, you want to
authenticity.
introduce yourself?
I would love to. I'm to Andrea's left on my computer screen, and I'm here in Montana, just happy to be here.
My left-hand woman.
That's right.
And then we have some returning guests. I think is this our first returning guest that we've had? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We have Callie's sister Katie.
Woo!
Yeah.
Coolest sister.
So cool.
And we have Naomi from
Naomi.
the podcast with Naomi and Tim, if you guys remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Katie was on the podcast with her husband Patrick, just to refresh everyone's memories. But yeah, Katie, do you want to tell us, like, you know, for those who forgot or maybe haven't listened, tell us just a little bit about who you are, where you're tuning in from.
Yeah. I'm Callie's sister Katie, older sister. Living in Helena, Montana. Married to Patrick, and we have 2 little girls, Cleo and Flory. They're the best.
So cute.
They are.
Yeah, they're the best. And we just, doing life. Life is chaotic right now and full, and that's just how it is, and that's great. And so that's me.
Yeah, love it. Naomi, tell us where you're tuning in from.
Yes, I am from Austin, Texas. Well, I'm from Montana, but I live in Austin, Texas.
There we go.
Hannah.
We claim
With
her
Andrea.
first.
And married to Tim. And I have 3 sons. So Soren, Ezra, and Jeshua. And my youngest, Jeshua, is crazy. This boy, today he was climbing this fence, and I'm like, his brothers never did this at this age. It's just like wild. But they are fun. I am with the younger 2 at home. And then my oldest is in school. So yeah,
Crazy.
that's
Can't
us.
believe you got
My
someone
husband
in
and I are youth pastors, so we do that as well.
In the trenches, basically, you could
In the
say.
trenches. Yeah. Doing the things.
Yeah, we have maybe 1 to 3 youth students that do listen to this podcast. So shout out.
Shout
to
out.
you ladies.
I love that variation
you're
of 1 to 3.
A varying range.
1 faithful listener and then a couple others who have maybe listened. So yeah, any given episode, you don't know.
It's amazing. They love Andrea.
Aw.
Rightfully so.
True.
Yeah.
Feel the same way.
And last month, Naomi, you're like you guys are just coming off of relationship / purity month, huh?
Yeah. So February, we always do Purity Month. And so it's all things relationship and hitting some like big cultural things to identity, all of that. So it's always fun. I had 1 student, a middle schooler, say, "Why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this right now?" I was like, well, Valentine's Day, like it's the month of love. So that's why. But also like these are things you need to know and we need to talk about. And she was just kind of like, okay.
That's funny because I
don't
feel
get
like
it.
so many of them want to talk about this, and this is all they want to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. It's usually like, I mean, they usually love it and it's, what they want to hear. But it was just a funny interaction.
Yeah, that's hilarious. She's like, this isn't hitting for me yet.
Yeah, totally. So unimpressed. I mean, the
Yeah.
face was like not impressed here.
Yeah. Man, if you can preach to a room of middle schoolers, you can preach to anyone, I think, after having to do it a couple times.
It's true.
Yeah, truly. Just the most authentic audience you'll ever preach in front of.
That's such a great way to say it.
They
Oh
really
my
are.
gosh.
They're not giving you any favors. Nope.
No.
You gotta work for it.
Yeah.
No pity laugh. So.
Yeah.
So good.
And even if they like you, you might not know it.
Yeah.
Oh, you have no
That's
idea.
true.
Yeah. You have no idea.
Truly.
Oh my gosh. Well, we wanted to bring Naomi and Katie back for a couple reasons. I feel like the fun reason is just that there's a lot of history that's kind of like not connected. Some of it is connected, but like how long Naomi and Katie, how long have you guys known each other?
17 years.
Oh
17
my
years.
gracious.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I feel old.
I know.
Let's go.
Naomi and I first met in Chi Alpha, which is like a
Nice.
student ministry college thing. I was on staff with the ministry in Bozeman, and she was a student, and we started hanging out. And that was forever ago. It was crazy.
Yeah. The truth is, I was like, this girl loves the Holy Spirit. I must be her friend. So I joined her small group. It was the most random small group, but I was like, she's leading it. I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah, I thought of that the other day. I was like, our small group was so bad. Like, I
Oh,
was like, quote, like leading it, but I literally just sat there while someone else like preached the whole time.
Yeah, your co-leader
like sweaty people
took over.
But Naomi was there.
Things
We became
they
friends.
mark you. They mark
Yeah.
you.
They do.
Yeah. And even in that setting, Naomi was like, there's something about that girl.
Bad small group.
Just like when Patrick
couldn't be
fell in love
denied.
with her with like the braces
Right.
and the
Exactly. I just have an essence about me.
It's true.
Can't put your finger on it,
deeper.
but
You
it's
can't
there.
help but love me.
deeper than
There.
the
Something.
external circumstances.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then okay, so Callie was like a little high schooler at the
Yeah.
time.
No,
Yeah.
it's a child because Katie and I are 6 years apart. So
She was like
It's a
15
child.
at the
yeah.
time.
Which I met you then. I remember
Yeah,
one of the trips to Helena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because you'd come with me sometimes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I knew Naomi a little bit. And then a couple of years later, let's see.
Quite a few
Na-
years later.
Well, yeah. I guess I can't remember where we're at. But yeah, the Naomi and I, were we in the same class, Naomi, or were you in the one after me?
Yes. I was after you.
Okay. Like,
Right?
yes to
Yeah.
which one?
Yeah, 'cause we were in the
Yeah.
same one, Naomi.
Okay.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
with you.
Yeah.
You were with
Yeah.
Amy.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Lauren for 1 year.
With me?
You were in the same class.
We're
as
talking about
Callie.
Bethel, by the way.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
listening to the podcast, we're talking about Bethel Ministry School. We're all connected
We've
through
all
that
done
ministry
it.
school.
We've all done it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
At
I know it
different
might
times.
be controversial, but God moved. God moved in that ministry school, okay?
We all still love
Lauren, you
Jesus.
just lost
We love-
5 people on this podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, if we have to share, we gotta be authentic and real because we're about to get even more real. So
It's true. It's true.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so how that progresses, I guess, is that Naomi, Katie, Callie, and me all lived in the same house, not at the same time. Naomi, Callie, and Katie were at the same time, and then Katie moved back to Montana, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then it was me and Callie and Naomi and 3 other ladies. So we crossed paths in that way. And then when I moved, Callie and I were roommates for like 5 years. Then when I moved to Austin, I jumped on the team with Naomi and Tim and started serving in youth. So anyway, it's just a web, it's a web of connections here.
It really is.
Callie's gonna make a graphic organizer for anyone who wants to.
I'm
really
working
have that
on it
figured out
right now. Yeah, it's being made.
But in that house, before I moved in, there was a unique time where Naomi and Katie were living. You guys were sharing a room, right?
Yeah,
we were.
yeah.
And they were both going through a breakup season. So we wanted to bring them on to kind of talk about that season and talk about what came of it. And our main goal for this podcast is to help you figure out if you're in this situation, or maybe you have someone who is, or you've been in it. When should you get back together with your ex-boyfriend? Because Naomi and Katie are, spoiler alert, now married to their ex-boyfriends.
What? Do you ever introduce them as that? This is my ex-boyfriend.
Imagine.
We live together now and have children. And
It's so confusing.
It worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah. So are you guys ready to jump into some questions?
Ready.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear the whole story, Katie and Patrick told their whole story on the podcast. Naomi, I feel like it was like more focused. Tim was more talking about like porn when we had you guys on. We actually need to do another podcast where you talk about your dating story, because that has plenty of great takeaways too.
Tim was talking about like how not to watch porn. Like
he wasn't promoting.
Listening. He was not promoting it. He was talking about like how to not be addicted to that. Anyways, okay, continue.
Yes,
There you go.
He's trying to get people free. Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for adding that context. Okay, so we're gonna jump into some questions. Jump into our questions now. But if you want to give like a little context first, like how long you had been dating, and then why did you break up? Naomi, do you want to start?
I get to go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so we dated for a year.
Okay.
And I mean, so much into it, right? But it was fun, it was good, but essentially we were in two very different places. I mean, like 4 months into dating Tim, I was like, I could marry this guy. Like, it felt like an easy yes in some ways. And Tim was not in that place. So he was struggling with like a past relationship that he'd had, and what I would call like a soul tie. And just, he was just kind of questioning everything. And so he was very much stuck. And so while I'm like moving forward and my heart's like in this place, he was not there. So it just got to a place where I was like, I can't stay in this, because I know what I want. And if you don't, like, I need to move on with my life. And I believe that I will be with a man who wants to be with me and can choose me. And so I need to act on that. And so I broke up with him after a year. Yeah.
So when you say he was like struggling with that other relationship, it was kind of just like in his mind. Was he wondering
Yeah, totally.
So it was the one that got away or something?
Exactly. Yeah. There was I mean, he didn't even have a friendship with this girl. Like, there was no contact. There hadn't been for years. It wasn't like he was like kind of in, kind of out talking to this girl. That wasn't it at all. It was like the what if, like, what if I'm missing it, or, that even that comparison. And it's so funny because he didn't even date this girl. Like, it was literally, they'd just gone really deep, like had these heart-to-heart conversations and, a connection in that way. And so I think he would go back and he would like have these thoughts. What if, I'm missing it? What if that was what was supposed to happen? And it would just, he would be frozen. Um, so yeah.
So you ended it with him.
So I ended it. How much do you want me to go into like that? Like what was going inside of me and like that process, or do you want to hit that a little later?
I am just kind of curious, like what you said and maybe like how he received it.
Okay, we'll go deeper then. I just didn't know how much you want right now.
I didn't know either until
now.
Until you started talking, and then I was like, "Wait, tell me more."
Totally. So I had praise the Lord for these two men. One was a pastor, and then the other one was actually Tim's boss, who I just also knew, and he was Tim's boss, but like also his mentor and his really close friend. But they were both like very kind of like fatherly figures to me. Like they were speaking into my life and just watching out for me in a lot of ways. And so at different times towards the end there, they were just like, Naomi, like, what is going on? Why are you in this if this guy doesn't know what he wants? And the guy that he worked for and was really close, I remember him asking, like, how is your hope level? And when he asked me that, I was like, man, my hope is like, I don't have hope right now for this. Like, I think I felt so defeated. And while I really loved who Tim was, I was like, it just feels like we keep on circling the same mountain, And I remember him saying, Naomi, if you broke up with him, there would be a line of men like to date you. Like he was just being so sweet. He was like, I love Tim, but he's being an idiot. And like, if he can't figure it out, you need to move on. And so I think it was like those men speaking into my life that helped me just realize, okay, like, what am I hoping for? So I'm hoping for a man who can choose me, who's excited to choose me. And so then faith is like the walking out of what we hope for. So I remember I was like on this run and I was like, I actually need to move in faith. And that means breaking up with Tim. And when I did break up with him, it was basically like, hey, I don't know if you're going to figure it out. And I just can't keep waiting. And it was the breakup was so messy. Oh my gosh. Like I'm breaking up with him crying and he's holding me while I'm crying. And you're like, this is just confusing and messy, And at one point he's like, well, I really want to talk to these other people in my life. Like, if I do, can I come back and talk to you? And I was like, yeah, you can try. Like, because I think I was just at this place of like, hey, unless I see action, like I just have to be done. And I also knew that if I break up with him, that I have to be like I have to shut that door. Like I can't be breaking up with him to want some result, because that's manipulation. Like if I break up with him, then I need to allow myself to grieve and close this door. So, yeah.
That line right there was great. I was like, so perfect. Well, just like,
all we
just
need
like
right there.
when you break up with someone, like hoping that it's gonna make them do something, like that's actually manipulation.
Yeah. It was
Um,
literally, I've told people, I'm like, it's like I've gone through some painful things in my life, but it's the most painful thing that I chose.
yeah.
yeah, breakups are painful.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Katie, let's jump over to your story.
Toss it over to you.
Tossing it over to you. Cliffhanger on Naomi's story there.
What's gonna happen?
Will they? Won't they?
So nervous.
Where did these 3 kids come from?
Good question.
But how long had you been dating, and then why did you break up?
So basically, I am like the Tim in my relationship. Like,
I knew you were gonna say that.
I thought so too.
whenever Naomi and I would talk about this, I was like, I know how he feels. I know how he feels. And she would be like, ugh, I know how Patrick feels. Like, so anyways, Patrick and I dated for a very, very long time, probably too long. And we dated for like 4.5 years. And part of that was long distance because I couldn't make up my mind about him. And so I moved away to, but still dated him long distance. Yeah, so we were in Bozeman dating, and yeah, and then I moved to Reading to finish some schooling there. And I struggled, like Andrea said, we went deep dive into this in another podcast if you really want to know the details. But I really, really struggled with so much anxiety in relationships and not knowing, if he's quote unquote the one. I think I had been fed a lot of, not fed, I'd heard a lot of ideals around dating, and I was expecting my dating life to be, kind of picture perfect and in a certain way. And it just wasn't. It wasn't at all. Thankfully, I literally have like Patrick is the most patient man I have ever met in the world. That is why we're married today, is because of his patience. But I think I got to a point, we would have an anniversary every year. And, most people are like, oh, we've been together 4 years. And I was like, we've been together 4 years. I'm going to puke. Like, it's like, I would just feel sick every time there was an anniversary, because it would come and I wasn't sure. And it would come and I still wasn't sure. Like, I was like, I don't know if I want to marry him. And I was just stuck in this endless loop, endless cycle of questioning myself, questioning whether I even loved him. Do I even like him? And obviously I did, because we spent all the time together and I loved spending time with him. But I think I was putting expectations on myself that I don't know, I wasn't seeing results of, or I wasn't seeing what I expected myself to, things, certain things to have. And so finally I just and this took forever, obviously 4.5 years. I was like, okay, this has to end, because it's not going anywhere. We had taken breaks before, okay, let's not talk for a month. But I was like, I think I need something final for me to finally decide my heart. And so we'd been dating 4.5 years, and we broke up over FaceTime, which was just absolutely awful. And it was same Naomi, it's so dramatic, and I'm weeping, and he's weeping on the other side, and we're just both so heartbroken. And it was just horrendous. It was horrendous breakup. And I just remember seeing the pain in his eyes when I was just like, we have to do this. So yeah, that's when we broke up.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah, so that was, you were just kind of well, it sounds like it didn't match. It wasn't matching the picture that you had in your head.
Yeah.
So you're kind of trying to reconcile this, I have this picture, I'm having fun over here, but it still doesn't fit the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do with that? And then yeah,
I had a lot of ideals of how things should look, and dating him wasn't quite lining up with how I thought I wanted things to look and all of that. But yeah, so it just, anyways.
Yeah. I've been the Tim and the Katie
Right.
In my dating scenarios. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds hard.
Like
For
relate
both
with
sides.
Okay, so we get to this season of your life where you guys are sharing this room, like so sad. Who broke up first? Were you like, how did that kind of happen? When you moved into that room together, were you both broken up?
Yeah. Katie
Yeah,
was
we were.
first.
I think so.
Okay.
Katie was first, but when we moved in, yeah, we were both broken up.
Yeah.
Sad
Did you,
people.
I was gonna say, what did that look like? Did you guys like process it with each other? Like,
I mean,
like we kind of did.
I'm sure
Okay.
we did.
Yeah, we would talk about it. Like we said before, the day I broke up, Naomi brought ice cream over, and we ate ice cream together and watched
Come
Say
on.
Yes to the Dress, and just like wallowed for a little while. And then I remember you talking about you and Tim breaking up, and then yeah, I know our lives were really busy, so we didn't see each other a ton when we were like, because that's when we were living on Clay Street. I remember first, and then we moved to the other one. But yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we definitely. I remember you guys talking about it a lot.
Yeah, we definitely, I mean, we talked about what was going on and the whole process and that kind of thing, but like, did we know what was going on or what we were doing? Like, no.
No.
You know, just, I guess, yeah. You guys know how it is with roommates. Like, you just talk about everything.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys feel like you both fully grieved your relationships? Like, do you feel like you got to a point where you're like, this is fully over for me? Like, I'm even open to dating like other people.
Katie?
Katie.
I was like a fool when I was. No, I just.
Katie had like a fling.
I did right away, and like just it made no sense. And I remember I broke up with Patrick probably like a few weeks later. I was like, and I was like a hot mess for like a week, just like weeping. Went to a revival group, like just like bawling my eyes out, and people holding me like probably in the fetal position, and like.
Very normal at Bethel.
Yeah.
Always
not
being
weird.
held.
Remember, not weird at all.
Yeah, people don't bat an eye.
And then like probably a few weeks or a month later, I started hanging out with this other guy. And I was like, man, I'm fine. Like, I'm so like over Patrick. Like, that's weird. Like, and just like, and I totally was not. Cause then probably like 4 months later, yeah, maybe 3-4 months later, I think I shared this on the other one, but like I remember I was in Old Navy trying on clothes, and I all of a sudden just burst into tears and started sobbing, and I was like, what's going on? Like, and just like thinking about Patrick and just like absolutely heartbroken, and like so that's when it really hit me, and I was like, I need to stop like seeing this other guy. Like, I had to have like a lot of stuff going on. I think Patrick and I had seen each other that summer and made out even when we were broken up,
Nice.
like the classic, I was all over the place. I was not grieving correctly, if there is a way to grieve correctly.
Oh man.
Yeah. That was me.
I feel like I've been that messy in my breakup, so I love it. I'm like, someone else makes out with their ex. Anyways.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever like successfully broken up. Like, if there is a successful way to do it, I think the only reason I've ever done like had a semi like clean break is because he did a good job. Like, not me.
Not crawling back.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
But Naomi, where were you at? Do you feel like you were like fully like, okay, like I've grieved him, like I would even date someone else?
Not like by
like Katie.
choice.
Yeah.
I I was so sad and like there was so much pain, and I just felt like I had to get like all of the pain out in order to date someone. But it's so funny, I had started like my internship in this season, and the pastor that I was interning for, you know, he gave each one of us like our challenge basically. And my challenge, he's like, Naomi, you need to date 3 guys before Christmas. Like go on like 3
I love it.
dates with different guys or something like that, or you need to. And I was like, oh, I can't.
I would have been like, how dare you? How dare you?
I don't want to. That just feels like so painful. And again, it's one of the guy that I interned for. He was one of them speaking into my life kind of through this whole season. And I remember saying to him, I was like, I just like it still feels like there's pain, like there's still this residual thing. And he was like, well, you know, sometimes to get like, you know, think of a bucket that had mud in it. He's like, sometimes you just put a hose in it and let the hose keep going and going. And eventually the water comes out and it's clear. So he's like, sometimes it's not about just like trying to scrape it all out on your own, but like allowing love to come in and just like fill those places. And so I think, you know, that just gave me peace to be like, okay, I can be open to this. So I was getting to the place where I was like open to it. And there was like a couple guys that were kind of interested in me, I think.
The line of men, they were lining up.
Oh my gosh, they weren't, but there was, Callie, do you remember going to that one? It was this author.
Yes! I know exactly what you're talking about.
The author was interested in you?
No. So went to this event because this one author I really liked, and Callie came with me, and there was these 2 guys that were like apparently interested in me, and they like both sat on, they cornered us. I mean, what happened? I just remember like sitting down and they're both there, like beside us.
I just
And
remember
I was like, this is the most awkward thing.
I just remember one of them gave me a really good prophetic word. I still remember it.
Oh, that's so great.
Like that night changed my life.
I benefited from
Like,
Naomi's crushes.
I love those
I just
crushes.
remember feeling like, Callie, please save me. What is happening right now?
I was her, what's the word? Barrier? I don't know.
Yeah, something.
Protection. Yeah.
Projection.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
so funny.
that's so funny. You're like, where
That was
has
like
my
Callie's
life
favorite
gotten
night.
me?
My barking night for me.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
that's so funny. Okay, so then what happened to make you think about getting back together with Patrick?
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're hopping
was
back
like,
and forth.
I
Trying to
know.
keep up,
Naomi.
trying to keep
I'm
up.
invested. I'm invested.
So I remember like that summer I'd come home. This was before we made out, so it was
I was wondering about the
It was
makeout.
true.
In
It was
between
Sounds
all
like
this.
it was
Holy,
the
you know?
makeout that made you think of it.
I had gone down to Bozeman, and that's where he was living at the time, to see my friend Kayleen. But that day, I don't remember. I also was like texting Patrick. I was like, "Hey, I'm in town." What?
Love that. That's a Lauren move right there.
Totally. I love it.
And so we were gonna like hang out later that day. I had just bought a car that was like a stick shift, and I did not know how to drive a stick shift. And so Patrick was like, "I'll help you." Of course, sweet man.
What a saint.
I know. But before that, I was hanging out at a coffee shop, and I was just having time with the Lord. And it was like such a genuine moment that like I remember so well, that the Lord was just like speaking to me, because I was like, God, I can't, like, I'm having a really hard time like getting over this, like getting over Patrick. And I was just journaling a lot. And so clearly I felt like the Lord was like, if you want to marry him, like I'm all about it, basically. And honestly, like throughout my whole relationship, that's all I'd wanted, was just like God's approval on what I was doing. But I kind of had like this like whole picture with it, about me getting married. And I just like, but he was like, you know, like this, like, you get to choose who you want to marry. And so, like, whoever you choose, I trust you. And so I was like, okay, I can't like talk I can't talk to him about that. And I really felt like we were supposed to be broken up for like a good chunk of time, like probably like 9 months. And so I think Patrick had asked me about, like, later he taught me how to drive stick shift, all the things, or flirting while we were in the car and all this stuff. And later he was like asking me about, like, I mean, would you be interested in getting back together? And at that point, like, I didn't want to overshare. So I was just like, I just really feel like I need to be single for a while. And so, yeah, at that point, I felt like maybe it was a possibility that we were going to get back together, but I also didn't want to bank on it, because I felt like for me being single at that time, especially since we'd been like together for so long, it was just really good. It was really good for my heart, and really good even for him to, like, because he was in deep. And I think it was good for him to like have a break as well. So I kept getting little glimpses of that, even though I really still struggled later on. But getting glimpses of like the Lord blessing it if I wanted it. And so yeah, I kept kind of getting that over the next few months as we were still broken up. But
yeah. So how many months before you got back together was that?
I think it was like 9 months, because
so like another 9 months after. Okay.
Well, or sorry, not after that. Like all together, we were broken up 9 months. So I think it was like 5 or 6 months after that. We got together like January of the next year, and we'd been broken up since May. So
okay. So you're kind of at like a halfway-ish point.
Yeah. And so at that point, like, I guess to kind of like keep going with that, Patrick and I'd been back in Reading, and we would FaceTime every now and then just to like catch up with each other. Once again, I was like, probably don't recommend that if you're broken up, but no rules.
There are no rules here.
There are no rules here. And so we would talk every now and then, but we kept it pretty light. Like we wouldn't really go into like details about us too much. But I was coming home for a special occasion going on, and Patrick and I, we lead worship together, and we were asked to lead worship for this like occasion that was coming up. And so we were talking a bit about the thing coming up, planning that. And so, but I was like, at that point I was like, I feel like I want to get back together with him. Like this is what I actually want, and I'm like choosing this. And so we met up for coffee one day and talked a lot about it. And even at that point, we still took a few weeks to even decide to like get back together. And kind of like ask people around us and talked it through, because I didn't want to like, we'd been dating so long, I didn't want to like jump into like more years of dating. But anyways, I feel like I'm just like going on about that, but
wasn't that a significant like coffee time too, because Patrick had been praying about some things that you shared and it like aligned? Can you share a little bit about that? Just because I think it helpful of like something like it like clicked for both of you. Like, okay, maybe we should get back together.
Yeah. Because I think he had like 3 certain questions that like he was asking God, like, hey, I need her to like, tell me that she loves me. I need her to like show me that she's actually in this, like ready for marriage. And so he was asking me those questions. He's like, hey, do you love me? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, are you ready to like actually talk about marriage? And I was like, yeah, I am, even though I was still terrified. And so every question that he would ask, I was like, yeah, I'm there. I'm ready for this. And so everything would like aligned really, like it just, it felt really good in that moment for like, okay, I think we're ready to do this again.
Did you initiate that conversation?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I knew I had to be, because I mean, I was the one that broke up with him. And so I knew if I wanted it, because he was keeping his distance like really well, that I would have to initiate getting back together.
Yeah.
He had some good boundaries.
He did have good boundaries.
Good job, Patrick. Yeah.
So you initiated the makeout during your breakup?
I think it was like two-sided, you know.
A mutual.
Curious.
It's a mutual decision.
makeout. Yeah.
Little kiss.
No, we can't. Yeah.
Really fighting it off.
Oh my gosh.
So good. I love this.
So what was it that made you really like decide, yes, like I want to give this another try with Patrick, which you talked about it a little bit. But was there one thing specific or just like kind of a series of reasons that led you to make that choice?
I think it was a couple things. Even though I think it was dumb to like jump into, it wasn't a relationship with somebody else. It was, I don't know. I was seeing someone else for a while.
Yeah. I was there for it.
Yeah. So was Naomi. Naomi literally was like, why are you seeing him?
Naomi, asking the hard cues here.
She really was. It made me think. I was like, I don't know. But honestly, I think by like hanging out with this guy, I think it helped me realize what a good thing I had with Patrick. And I mean, he was nice, but he like certain things he would do, I was like, wow, like, I don't know. It would just catch me off guard. That was like, Patrick wouldn't do that, or Patrick wouldn't treat me that way. Not that we need to compare relationships to another one, but just like, it was like pretty like glaring to me that I was like, wow, I think I had a really good thing and I didn't know it. So like that was one. And then I'd talk to like a few people as well. Like I remember being on the phone with my brother and being like, hey, like, you know, we were catching up. And I was like, yeah, I think Patrick and I might get back together. And he was like, seriously? Like
Classic.
I know. But it was good for me to like really question like, do I want to do this? Because he was like, you guys have been together forever and like it has not worked out. Like, and it was just good to like some people to ask me like some hard questions, you know,
like what's different, make you think about like what's different this time.
Exactly. Like, why is it going to be different? Like, are you actually going to make a decision? Are you just going to date for another 4 years? You know, it's like, so I think having some conversations with people, because Patrick and I had coffee and then we were like, okay, because that was like, I think that was around Thanksgiving time. And I was like, I'll be back for Christmas. Like, let's take some time and like maybe get some wisdom from people, pray about it, and then like
reevaluate.
Time we can reevaluate. And at that point, I just came back with like I really want to go for it again. And like, I feel like I'm in a better spot. I feel like I'm more ready to like commit, even though I wasn't really, but I was like, at that point, like, I really felt like the Lord was like, I felt the Lord's like, hey, you can do this if you want. Yeah. And yeah, I think after just having some time, like I was like, I really want to try this again. So that's kind of where I was at.
Yeah. And it sounds too more like you were like the fear was still there, but you were like determined to be like, I'm gonna like figure this out. And I can say as someone that got to see it in real time, like it did feel like there was just kind of this resolution you had, because I was similar to Andrew. I was kind of like, you broke up, you finally made the decision, like don't just like go back because it's comfortable or something. That was kind of the worry that I had. But you were like, no, like I want to really see if this is it or not. And so it did feel like you just had this like resolution to really figure it out, and it was either going to be marriage or done forever. So yeah, that's what I saw on the other side.
Totally. Yeah. And I think that's what it was too. I think I went in not fully knowing that we would get married, but just being like, I want to actually give it an honest try of like, because I think the last 4 years it's been like, we just like, oh, we're dating, it's fun, like, and he wouldn't bring up marriage a lot either. Like we both danced around the topic. So I was like, let's both give it a like really honest try, and really if this doesn't work out, then we will be done like for good. So it was kind of like the last hurrah,
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like, from somebody who has more of that bent, it has been helpful, like, dating multiple people. Because, like, especially, like, you know, a, a lot of, a lot of people, you kind of start to realize, like, what's true in every scenario,
Yeah.
Totally. And you start to get a more realistic picture of what it's like to be in a relationship, and you're able to like let go of that kind of fantasy because you start to realize like, wait, no like human man can like fit this picture that I had in my head, or this like elusive like feeling or like vision or dream or like thing I had in my head about what it's supposed to be like it almost like shatters it the more that you like just experience dating. I feel like, I don't know if you thought that at all.
True. And I think too, like Patrick was my first like real relationship.
Yeah.
And so I had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
And so I think I was sitting there while we were dating, dreaming about, oh, this picture perfect other person out there will fulfill all these things.
Yeah.
When actually he was right across from me, and I didn't have the eyes to see it, And but it did help, probably like seeing other people for a while, to be like, oh, this is not what I want, and it's very very apparent.
Yeah. Okay, so back over to Naomi. When was the idea of getting back together with Tim introduced, and what did that look like? How did it unfold?
Yeah, so we were separated. Sounds so weird, but broken up for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so during that time, like we'd see each other every once in a while because Reading is quite small.
Yeah.
And
Trader Joe's,
you have
Winco.
the North Winco,
everything,
church. Yeah, just so we'd like see each other in passing, but we didn't have like a ton of interactions. And so there was this one night I was at the cafe that he worked at, and he went on a break, and he was like, hey, can I just sit with you like during my break and have my meal? I was like, yeah, sure. So anyways, he sits there and we just like start talking and connecting and stuff. And I remember going home and just thinking, whoa, like that felt like we were dating again. Like that level of like how we were talking, how we were with each other. And so I texted him and I was like, what just happened? Like, what was that?
Love that you called it out.
What is going on? Yeah, it was, I don't know. Felt too familiar. And so anyways, then he came over to our house that night, and we were just sitting there talking, and he's like, that was a messy conversation too, because we're kind of like, what just happened? Like, where are you at? What's going on? Because honestly, I was like, and I think something in my heart too, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just feel? Like, I thought I've been like, for months trying to kill this thing, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, I felt that, like the possibility basically. And I remember asking him, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, where are you as far as like how you feel about me and our relationship? And
bold.
It's the worst question, because he goes, a 5. And I was like,
are you
Timothy? Dagger to the heart.
Right on that fence.
I was just like, gosh. I remember just thinking, I'm like, I am done with this man.
Yes,
like,
I feel like I hate you.
I am done. And I remember the Lord just saying,
lunch we just had did not feel like a 5 from you. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, and I know I'm like 9.5 out of 10. Okay.
I know. I was like, why
you
were
were
you
a
so
9.5.
just the wrong question to ask. But I remember the Lord just being like, just wait. And so I did not say anything. And he goes, can you give me like a week? Can we talk in a week? Or it was something like that, or it was a few days, I can't remember. And I was like, sure, yep, we can do that. So anyways, a week goes by, and this was so funny. Just you have to like keep prophetic, like you have to hold prophetic words lightly when it comes to relationships. But there were just some funny things that happened. So the night before we were supposed to talk, I was driving this group of guys back to Reading we'd like taken the revival group that I was interning for up to like the ropes course, and everyone does that. It's team building, you know. And for whatever reason, my car was full of all these men. So I'm driving them back, and one of them goes, "Let's just prophesy over Naomi's future husband." Which is like,
by the way, you're not allowed to do.
It's a no-no. Which you guys, it was Richard. So that just like, you know, you guys know him.
Yeah.
So sweet, loves the Lord, like amazing guy. But it was so funny. So they have no idea that I dated Tim. They have no idea what's happening in my personal life. And this one guy goes, I just see like have this picture of like this tall guy, and he has brown hair and blue eyes, and like just starts describing like all these attributes of Tim. And I was just like, I don't know what to do with all this right now. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next day Tim comes over, and he's like, "Hey, so I would really like to date you again," basically.
Oh my gosh. The next day.
Yeah.
Not a week later? Or
no, the next day after like these prophetic words. So it was like the week out of a week later.
But still timing, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
So it was just funny. So he tells me he wants to date me again. And I think in the moment it was just like excitement. It was like, this is exciting. Yes. Like I still like you. I'm all for it. He had kind of set up, he calls it the gauntlet. He set up these things that he had to do to decide if he really wanted to date me again. So he talked to my parents, he talked to his mentor, and then he talked to the guy who I was interning for, who he was like really afraid of. So basically like went to all these people to kind of like ask for permission essentially, and just test his heart and his motives. Yeah, and so he did that, and then I think we were kind of in that place of like going on a couple dates or just kind of like figuring it out. And I remember that I actually had 3 things that I put before the Lord, and I can't even remember exactly what they were, but I was like, God, in order for me to really like to do this and feel okay with it, like I need him to do these 3 things. I didn't tell him, didn't tell anyone else. And there was one night we went to this like worship night, and then as we were going to the car, he was like, "Hey, I just want you to know," and he lists off those 3 things. He's like, "I did this and this and this."
Wow.
And so yeah, in the moment I just remember being like, "Oh my gosh, okay, like yeah, I can do this. Like I can enter back in."
Did it make you feel like he was
and
serious?
See what happens. Yeah, because I remember like one of it was really dealing like with his heart, and the whole thing of, you know, how he couldn't get over this old relationship. And so it felt like, oh, he's actually taking steps to like take care of his heart and be present with me and pursue me. Yeah, again, it's so funny because it was still quite the journey.
Yeah.
Like there was still a lot of work to be done in his heart, but it was like this new resolution. I mean, he is so similar to Katie in the sense of he'd found this list, you know, that his mom had him write out when he was in college of like attributes he wanted in his future wife. And he like looked through it all, and he's like, "Oh, Naomi's all these things and more. Like, what am I doing?"
Oh, yeah. So sweet.
And so, yeah, like there was another level of like, okay, we're going to like figure this out, you know, if this is marriage or not. So, yeah. And I like I felt that from him just in his actions, like, which never, well, I shouldn't say never, but didn't really experience that the first time around, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel like the first time around he was like withholding a lot from you, and then something switched the second time around, like you said, where there was like almost like a action oriented from him? Or what do you mean by that? What was different?
Yeah, so he wasn't withholding. Tim was very honest in the entire process. So I knew what he was struggling with.
You're like, could have withheld, honestly. Could have withheld a little bit.
I know, it's like, oh, that's really hard to process. So not that, but like the intentionality. Like there wasn't a bunch of intentionality in the first time we were dating, whereas the second time that he was like bringing that to the table from the beginning, which from the beginning, even, I mean, when we started dating the first time, I remember him asking me to be his girlfriend. And I literally had to ask him, are you asking me to be your girlfriend right now? Like, it was so jumbled and confusing. I'm like, is that what just happened? Did you ask me to be your girlfriend? Yeah. So second time around, he like stepped up to the plate for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Tim.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like Katie talked about it, but what were some things you learned during your breakup time or your like time of being single?
For me?
Yeah, Naomi. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just good for me to put my foot down as to what I knew I wanted and I deserved. Sounds a little like entitlement, but it's not, in like what I deserve as far as in a future spouse and someone who's all in. And you know, it just felt like a time of like solidifying my identity and yeah, not compromising too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that was probably like the biggest thing that was happening in me. I think just walking through pain in general is a good thing for us to do. It's not fun, but it's good. I remember in that season, like there was so much heartache, but there was like so much fun too. You know, I was having like a blast with my friends. And yeah, I was just like, I look back on just being single and with such amazing women, and I'm like, I just had the best time. Like, even despite the pain and awkwardness of being broken up or all of that, like, what a gift to be surrounded by like such incredible women and be able to laugh and have fun in the midst of all that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's so good. I know the ladies really come through in the breakup / single seasons.
Yes, they do.
I don't know if Callie and I would have like gotten married because we were having so much fun.
It's true. I'm like, Andrea's filling the spot a boyfriend would fill because we just spend all our time together.
We just hung out so much. I'm like, I literally think maybe the Lord needed to put us in different cities so we could be like, does anyone else want to hang out with me?
Force us to date.
Yeah, I love that though. So if you had someone in front of you who was thinking about getting back together with their ex, what would you ask them? What would you tell them? What? Because it's not always a good idea, as we know. So how would you help them like maybe get to the bottom of like what, you know, what's really going on?
Katie, Naomi, you should start this one.
Oh, I should. Okay. Well, I think the biggest question is like, why did you break up?
Yep.
And to be honest, like, you know, if you look at Katie and my story, the men that we were dating were really awesome.
Yeah.
Like, we were not breaking up with them because they had some crazy character flaw. Like,
Yeah.
love Jesus, incredible men, but the figuring out relationships and where your heart is and all of that is just hard. Like, it's hard, it's confusing, it's messy. So yeah, I think my biggest question would be like, well, why did you break up in the first place? And then, you know, if you're thinking about getting back together with someone, I think you really need to test whatever it is that needed to change actually changed, you know?
Yep.
Um,
So good.
and how do you do that? Ugh. I mean, that's hard to do. You know, that can be really hard to do.
Yeah.
I think for most of the time, it's probably not a good idea. Because it's probably emotional. It's probably like soul tie kind of stuff. Like it just feels more comfortable to be with this person than, so it's more comfortable and not necessarily wisdom. Yeah. So yeah, every situation is just so different. I think that's why you need really, really good people in your life who you can talk to and you actually listen. You know, if you go to someone and you want them to speak into your life, you want them to speak into your relationship stuff, like you have to be willing to listen.
Yeah.
Even if it's painful.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one of, well, you guys know her, Savannah, one of my closest friends, she was like, what is up with Tim? Like, you just need to get rid of him. And, you
she
know,
did not
the
like
entire
Tim.
reason is she was just like, you're amazing. Why can't he figure it out? You know, and I mean, I didn't want to hear it. I did not want to hear that, but there was truth in it. And I'm so thankful for like people like that that were in my corner and like speaking that life and identity over me. Yeah. Katie, what would you say?
Patrick always says, like, he's like, if anyone hears our story, like, and like takes hope from it, like they probably shouldn't, you know. It's which is funny because like it worked out for us, but like I think so many, like he would talk to people, maybe like some guys or whatever that are like, oh, like you guys got back together, like I just broke up with my girlfriend, maybe we'll get back together. And he's like, no, like you guys need to be broken up, like. And so like obviously Naomi and I are like,
the
it's
exception.
possible. Yeah, it's like, and it does happen to other people. But I think you do need to ask your heart some really hard questions of like, what is the goal? Like Naomi was saying, what is the goal of getting back together? Like, are we just gonna get together for the sake of dating and like we're not working towards anything? And yeah, I think some significant changes need to be made for like, just like Naomi was saying, whatever reason that you broke up, like there needs to, if there's not resolve, like maybe some working towards in that area and showing that like, hey, I'm growing in this area. And I know even for Patrick, like, you know, I was working on my stuff, like he had stuff that he was working on too. And like, he felt like he had a certain like type of like soul tie to me that got broken off during the season that we were apart. And he's like, I needed that so bad. Like, I didn't realize like how deeply invested I was with you, and depended on you so much. And so that was super helpful for him. So I feel like it's like, if you're connected with the Lord and listening to him, getting sound advice from other people, and like it was already said, like learn, like getting correction as well and hard questions asked. Like even with my brother being like, why are you going to do that? What is the purpose of that? And just like letting people kind of like rip it apart a little bit. I feel like that's a good place to be. And so, yeah.
And I do think if it is like a character reason, like a character flaw or character thing, I'm like, man, to see that someone's truly changed, you need a lot of time. Like, because people can pretend for a short amount of time. And so I think if that's, you know, if that's a thing, then you need a lot of time.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Oh, Were you going to say something? Okay. I thought I heard like a, okay.
I'm like deeply thinking. I'm like,
I know, right? No, I feel like I am too. I'm like processing like, okay, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I've done that and I haven't done that. Yeah, done both.
Wait,
No,
Andrea. Oh, okay.
Yes, Callie.
Just curious because I know we're talking about obviously getting back together with someone you dated. You have a similar situation right now with your boyfriend. So just curious, kind of like the brief version of, why did you get back together with your ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said, I'm the Tim and the Katie in our scenario.
Right.
I was the one who just was way behind any like step towards greater commitment just terrified me. And I was like, I'm not supposed to feel terrified. I'm supposed to feel like the movies, And so yeah, so we broke up. We'd been broken up maybe 3.5 years. And it's interesting because I had started praying like I feel like I had dated enough to realize like, you know what, I'm kind of like a lot of this is like I'm the problem, I became very aware of like my own tendencies, we'll just say. And so I started praying like, God, like just make it so obvious to me. Like I need some real like just open my eyes, like show me, because I know like my patterns in dating have led me here and I'm trying to follow you, but like I just need it to be clear. So it is so funny. Like I just feel like all this outside help started coming in. Like we ended up at the same church. We ended up in the same pickleball group out of like 40 different groups that we could have chosen. And we just like kept having situations where we would like run into each other, but also men that I respected were speaking very highly of him. And even like there was like just people in his life were just talking about like how much character he had. Or even just like different things about like how he's gone after like what he's wanted and how he's like set up his life and stuff. And so I just was like, man, all the men who are like good husbands to my friends like really respect this guy. Like the guys that I respect him. And so I'm just taking notes, I'm like, keep running into each other. Keep hearing from people how great he is, like just putting together all the pieces. But I feel like I came in also with some things in my head about like what I would need like to feel like it would be different, I guess. And a lot of it was on me, but there were a couple things on him. And when we sat down and had dinner, we both like owned our stuff. Like he was like, hey, I was like this, like, I've, gone to counseling, read this book, like it was attached, because literally attached is like the story of us. And he had read it, and I had literally thought like, if we get back together, I need to tell him to read this book. And he was like, I've read it.
It was a book on attachment styles.
Yeah. It's called Attached. I would 10 out of 10 recommend it to anybody. I don't think it's Christian, but it's literally like helps me so much. Anyway, he read it. I had read it, and I was like, I'm avoidant, and he was like, I'm anxious, and we just like owned stuff, and we said enough that I felt like it would be different this time. And so I think just especially having the mentors or having the outside people speak into it was helpful. But then also seeing like that we were both able to own like our part in why things fell apart was really helpful. And I mean, we're both like very growth oriented individuals, like, you know, so like those 3 years where we were like going through pain, like we were like taking classes, going to counseling, reading books. Like we're not the people that we were when we broke up, which I'm thankful for. And I think it even makes me trust our relationship now, is because I'm like, I know that the guy I'm with now is going to be in 5 years like a lot healthier than he even is now, you know, because he's going to keep working on himself. And I'm like that too. So anyway, hopefully that answers the question. But I think I definitely saw like, what I hear in all of our stories is we had outside feedback from people that we trusted, and we weren't trying to make decisions in a silo by ourselves. And we were looking for like, okay, what is different this time around? Like, why is it going to work this time? And we were able to see that it was different. So I think, I would probably say the same things you guys were saying to anybody who's wondering. Because we also didn't break up over a character issue. It was honestly the same deal. One of us was afraid of commitment.
Yeah.
I do like that you all have noted. Sorry, Kelly, I think you're about to share
you
something.
Go for it.
But I love that you guys noted character, because I think as women, we are so compassionate towards men, and we see the best in them, and so we can rub off like the character thing, or be like, oh, well, he'll try better next time. And I do think for those thinking of getting back together with their ex who are listening to this, is like, really look at their character. Like, is that actually going to change? And usually, like, the phrase, I hate it, but I feel like I've experienced it, is like, what you see is what you get, in a sense. And we can't change or manipulate people's character. Like, that's not our job. That's only God's job. And if you're going into a relationship trying to get back together to change their character, it can get like really messy.
Yeah.
The thing I was going to share was it also seems like each of you really got honest with yourself and asked, like, okay, what do I need going forward, and like, what would I need from them? And so that was obviously different for each of you. So it's not like, here's the 3 questions to ask yourself, because it was very tailored to each of your situations. So I just think that getting real with yourself and the Lord, and like, that's kind of what you should try to do, I guess, if anything. But
well, and I will say, one time I got back together with someone I should not have gotten back together with, and in hindsight, the reason I did is because I knew that I had changed some things on my end, and I thought that was going to be enough to carry us. But if I had been honest with myself, like, he did not change on his end. So it wasn't enough that I had changed or like grown in different ways. Like I needed to see that from him also. It needed to be more of like a meet in the middle situation. So you may be like facing this and be like, but I've changed so much. Like, and I mean, maybe if you were like 95% of the problem, like, maybe it will be good enough, but a lot of times there's kind of things going on both sides of it. Katie or Naomi, either of you can go first, but when did you know, like, okay, we've dated, we're in our second round of dating, like, when did you know, okay, I could marry this person?
Go for it, Katie.
Okay, so I will say, like, say you get back together with somebody, your problems do not leave. It's like,
we need to hear that.
They're still waiting for you. Like,
it's good.
I think that, yes, like, we've each worked through things. We're in a better spot, but it's like, I still had major anxiety about getting married. I still had major questions about, okay, we got back together. I still kind of have all these thoughts and I don't know what to do with them. And I felt like a crazy person because I had brought him through all this stuff. I was like, let's break up. Let's get back together. I'm ready. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready. Like, and so I felt bad because I was like, we've been through all of this stuff, and you know, my issues were still, I had to work through them. But this time I feel like we were in a better spot to like really talk more about the future, talk about all of my issues. Because when we were dating before, we would talk about it, but it would be in like big blow-ups. Like I would not talk about it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then I would be like, here's all my stuff.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, what the heck? Like, I didn't know you were dealing with this. And same with him. He was working through stuff that like he would bring up. And so I think constant communication with someone like that is like so key, and someone that's going to be willing to work with you through the mess, because like as you get married and all that kind of stuff, life continues, stuff comes up, you have to constantly be talking and working through things. So anyways, I honestly didn't know that like I was ready for marriage, because literally we got engaged. I'll give the very quick version of like, we got engaged one night. We went out to dinner, and I kind of felt like it was coming, and I didn't, but I was like, he told me it wasn't coming, you know. And he proposed that night, and I was sitting there like, it was like a culmination of all those years and all those questions, and I was like, oh my gosh, like my fear is staring me in the face. And obviously, ultimately, I ended up saying yes, but it was this huge thing that I literally like, the Lord reminded me in that moment of this like counseling session I had, where my counselor was like, you know what, Katie, he's like, I won't say this to everybody, but for you, it's like, you need to start leaping without looking. And when Patrick was sitting there with the ring in his hand, that was the phrase that came to mind. And I was like, okay. And so for me, that's what I needed to do. I was like, okay, like, and I said yes. And it was still, even the day after, I was like, oh my gosh, I just got engaged. Like, what the heck? Like, but it was still like, you know, it's like your problems don't go away like that. And it's still, even while we were like engaged for a little while, it didn't last forever, which I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
It was still something that we were working through, and still something we were talking about. And I can't stress like communication enough, that it's like, if you're dealing with something, like bring it up to the person that you're dating with, because that's something that you can work with together. And even if it's like incredibly messy and you're hurting someone's feelings, like, I'm sorry, but that's part of relationship. And that's like things that you have to work on together, even as you're married. Even like hard stuff still comes up. And it's like, obviously marriage is not the finish line. But it's just like, you're working your way there. So anyways, that's me.
So good for the people to hear, like, we did not get back together and all of our problems were just gone.
Yeah, that's good.
Still on the journey. And then Naomi, when did you know? Well, I mean, you knew 4 months in, but like second round.
I knew. I was like, I'm just waiting here.
She's waiting for Tim to know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Callie and I were living with you, which is cute.
That is cute. That is, yeah. We dated for another 1.5 years, so it was not a quick thing. But for me, the best advice that I got going into the second round was, Naomi, you just need to have fun. Like, there was a couple people who told me that, because I think I could just get so intense and be like, where are you at? What are we doing? Like, and two, like, my siblings and all my family members had these stories where they like started dating and were married within a year. So then for mine to look so different, I think I felt like this pressure of like, what's wrong with me. So yeah, I mean, had so much fun dating. There was like that question of like, okay, where are you at? And Tim had like a certain level of freedom, but it wasn't complete, to be honest. Like, he'd still kind of get like stuck on this what if type thing. And so eventually he went and got a sozo, so like an inner healing kind of Holy Spirit led counseling, basically.
Yeah.
And while he was there, he was just like breaking soul ties, which I told him, I'm like, you just need to break this soul tie. Just do that. But
Easy.
yeah, easy. So anyways, this man just led him through like breaking any soul ties. And um when he describes it, he's like, it felt like a time release capsule. So like every day he felt more free. And within, I think it was like 2 weeks, he was in the jeweler buying a ring.
Wow.
So it was like before that he was just still, because Tim is like, he's a little slower on like making decisions in general, because when he
Yeah.
does give his yes, it's like 110%. So I think he
Yeah.
knows like the cost when he gives a yes. And so yeah, but he was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And it's so funny. I was actually in Bozeman for Katie's wedding when he bought the ring, which
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I remember being on the
cute.
phone with him, and he was with his roommate, and it's just so funny. Like I ended up calling him like while he was at the jeweler. Did not know that till after the fact, of course. But yeah, so then it was just so amazing for us then when we were engaged, because it was like he was a different man, because he was like, okay, I am fully in. So all of that, like him questioning, and you can feel that when someone else is going through it, it was just gone. It's like, oh yeah, he's totally in. There was a lot of like security in that. But I will say there was a moment we were at church and I just had the thought, I'm like, is this real? Like, is this real? Does he really want me? Is he really choosing me? And I just remember so clearly the Lord saying, like, you can trust him and be at peace, or you can put him through hell. And
Wow.
I was like, okay, I just need to be done with this. And so
wow,
just
that's
like,
good.
let it go. And it's been great, I mean, I think one beautiful thing, and probably Katie can attest to this too, because our dating journey was like rocky and so crazy, like marriage has felt so much easier. And I think it is like that even communication part. I mean, we would have, I would flip out on him, or there would just be, we just had to talk about such hard things, it felt like.
Yeah.
And so, like we've had to navigate a lot, learning how to communicate in marriage, but it just, I don't know, it's felt more peaceful maybe, and easier in a lot of ways, I think, than sometimes what other people experience, maybe because they just haven't come over those mountains yet. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that with multiple friends. Like if you work through a lot of hard stuff, or you're willing to like talk about the hard things while you're dating, they're gonna come up eventually. So may as well talk about them when you're dating. But I do feel like some people wait and then they come up during marriage, and it's not as fun.
And I also, I mean, Katie, again, could probably say the same thing. Marrying a man who is patient and kind, I just like, over the years, I'm like, wow, those are the things that I am so thankful for in Tim.
Yeah.
Like a patient and kind man who loves Jesus is a good one.
Yeah. Amen.
Seriously. I remember when I was getting back together with Patrick, our friend Richard, we keep giving Richard shout outs here.
He's the best.
He asked me, because he didn't know Patrick at all, and he's South African, and I can't really say it like he did, but he said, oh, like,
yes,
is he kind? And I was like, Patrick, are you kidding me? Like, that? And he's like, I don't know him. Is he kind? And like, I was like, of course he is. And at that point I was like, that's so weird. But like you said, Naomi, patience and kindness is like, holy crap. Like I have thought that so many times over the years. That's like, those are the utmost like qualities to have in a man, like at least for me, you know, it's just like it's so important, and like it has, I don't know, I just have such high value for that.
Yeah, those are huge things. Well, guys, this was so great.
Amazing.
Lauren and Callie,
such a good girls' night.
Any other questions?
Such a good.
No, this is like just like a sleepover. I'm like, oh, I wish I had M&Ms. I just wish I had M&Ms.
Basically, we're gonna end on the about time lesson, which is marry someone kind.
Yes. Oh, that's so true.
Cute.
Such a great movie.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing your stories. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for sharing your stories.
Yes.
And yeah, hopefully if you're out there listening and you're kind of debating this, or you have a friend who is, send them the podcast, you know, and hopefully this will help them work through that decision. I do think some really beautiful things can come out of a breakup season. It pushes you to find your identity in the Lord in a way that, you know, not every season does. So it's really awesome. And then I think, if you have two people with good character, there can be a really beautiful relationship or marriage that, you know, is the fruit of that. So love that we got to chat about this, and thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.